Hello and welcome to another exciting video. Now in this one, we'll be covering how to retrieve products which belongs to a specific shop. For example, over here we have created this Lambda shop and we want to know the products that belongs to this particular shop. Now in order to do this, the first thing is we need to create one index. So here I've created one index called products by shop. If you go over here and click on settings, you'll see what exactly we are doing. So the name of the index is products by shop, and then the terms, it has this data.shop ID. So all the dynamically created products that we are saving in FaunaDB has this shop ID. So if I go to collections and I see this one, storing FaunaDB, you'll notice this shop ID coming up over here within the data attribute collection, and this is the shop ID. Now, once we have created the index that you see over here, you can also take a look at how it's going to look in SQL. So here we have name, unique, serialized, source, and then terms. That's data.shop ID. So after creating this particular index, we need to go back to our code. And here in our code, what we have done is we have updated the shop list file. And here you will notice that we are now making use of a link to provide this shop name as a hyperlink. And this hyperlink basically contains shops/shop ID and then details. So here in the dynamic route, you can see this details.tsx file. Now this is the new file. So when you click on this shop name, it's going to take the shop ID, and over here, you can see we have imported a couple of things: router, GQL, and use query. So using the router, we will be retrieving the shop ID, and then we'll be passing that shop ID using this GQL that we have over here, get shop by ID. And this is going to return these attributes for us. And down below, you'll notice that we have retrieved the ID from the query using the use router. And over here, we are making use of the use query, and within that we have the data as query data, and then we have loading, and we are passing get shop by ID. That's the GQL that we have created, and then we have this variable list which has the shop ID. Now that shop ID contains the ID of the shop that we have clicked on. Once that's done, we check whether the data has been retrieved or not, and once that's done, we are logging it over here in the console log, and then we are simply iterating using the map method. So here we can see query data.map, product and index we are providing over here. We'll be updating this with the product ID so that we can edit and delete these, but for this demonstration, we are just having the index as the key value. Now, down below, you will notice we have this product.data.name, and the reason why we are doing this, if you see the output that we are receiving in the browser. So here, when I click on the Lambda shop, you'll notice that we are going to this details. And if I show the query data over here, that's going in the log, you'll notice that for every collection, we have this data. And within that, we are getting the product details. So that's the reason why over here, we are saying product.data.name. And that's how we are printing this in our details page. So here we have the product name coming up for that particular shop, and we have the edit and delete links. Obviously, we will be going to provide the actual when we'll be editing this particular product for the shop that we have selected. So when we are making use of this use query, basically all the request is going to this fauna handler.ts file. And over here, you will notice that we have updated our parse variables collection, and now we are also looking for shop ID. If the shop ID is present, then we are making use of the index that we created, that's products by shop, and we are passing the shop ID as the parameter for that index, and then we are getting the result which we saw in the browser. And that's how we retrieve related records from two different collections